Well, we do need to stop making apps. I mean, this is, I guess, my pet peeve when it comes down to, let's say, product designers, because people became so isolated and making, apps upon apps. If you go to, let's say, Dribble, Behance, or any other portfolio site or individual portfolios, you're going to realize that every other case study is about the apps. It's mostly mobile apps which are purpose built to answer very specific task or very specific challenge the user needs to address, right? But it doesn't consider how does that fit in a bigger range of, let's say, products and services, in that holistic experience the user would have. And the other day, I found a perfect example which describes and sums up my frustrations of the current market. A person who has way too many apps to do one thing because they've been built in isolation and they didn't consider the same user is already probably using different apps to support their decisions. And this is about parking, right? But it's not the only case which has the same exact impact. If you open your phone, how many apps do you have which have very similar purpose? Probably way too many. And I kept hammering for ages, for months, years now, that people don't need apps. There are better ways to make experience than just jumping into digital or jumping into mobiles because everybody has a mobile device and just making an app. We need to consider much bigger, grander ecosystem, the services of the products, because it's never happening in isolation. Someone the other day in one of the videos pointed out that, hey, experience starts way before the user engages with their mobile phone or opens the app. And I have to agree with that. That's why, for example, when I do the reviews, the portfolio reviews, I always say, do you understand the as-is journey? What I mean by that, do you understand how did they arrive at that app, that competitor app? Do they have any other alternative methods? What's their day-to-day look like, and what are the pain points and challenges? And why do they even default to using apps to begin with? What's the alternative? What else could they be doing? Because that's what we don't really consider. My biggest pet peeve with product designers and UX designers today is, and actually product managers for that, anyone to do with product who shape the features, is that we are so drunk about that MVP and agile approach that we default to the easiest and most crude methods to answer immediate needs. And the issue is that the user challenges go beyond the product. It's not just the product or app itself, it's how it arrives and how it uses. And when I open my phone, in parking on any other scenario, and I have to be like, oh, which app is that? Or do I really need an app? It becomes so regressive that I default to using cash or contactless card payment or putting coins if I have any coins, because I simply hate that I have to use 20 different apps for the same thing in different scenarios. The teams who made those apps didn't consider that I might have more apps, or they didn't consider that it's not really the competition what's at stake. I'm less likely to actually order food or order a pickup a taxi or go and park somewhere where I need to use the app because of that reason. So it backfires. What we wanted to achieve with adoption of the actual products and the engagement becomes completely opposite, where users go back and say, okay, maybe the technology is not that great of a choice. Maybe I could just go with methods I'm used to from before, and that's what's happening. I know this is controversial, but frustration is shared across the customers, the users. People know that the apps are not that good of a thing, but they still make them. They still make them for other people. And this video is really a call to action that consider that we as UX designers, doesn't matter your subspecialty, all those different flavors to deliver the experience, is to realize that we have a responsibility to think bigger. It's not just to think about the isolation and just say, okay, this app is actually going to make their lives better, because I don't think we truly understand how big the lives are, and that the lives span beyond just ordering groceries or paying for parking or buying the next sweater. There's so much more, because all those products become part of a services, and services become part of these big, massive experiences which we don't know about, and we need to force and consider for it. It's our responsibility, you and I, to actually go there and say to business stakeholders, hey, why do you think you need that app? Why do you think your users would want it? What else do they have? Can we actually step back and consider what their lives are like today, and then actually figure out if it's an app or maybe it's just actual automated service which scans their freaking license plates and pays automatically through their direct deposits through the banking systems, and there is no UI. How cool would that be? And maybe this is a signal for disruption, for further disruption, that, hey, now we reached the state where we have so many apps, let's figure out how we can make almost like aggregation services or services which bypass this so that the user experience, the true underlying user experience is great. It's not just isolated thing of opening the app, totally frustrated that you actually have to do that because there's just so much choice, noise, and mess in the market. And if you want to grow in your role, if you want to become more strategic, if you want to become a design leader, this is exactly the recipe. Think bigger, think beyond pixels, beyond features, beyond a UI. The best UI is, again, no UI. The best UI is seamless. The best UI is something which delivers user experience which users seek, which doesn't add yet another layer for interaction for them to do the simple tasks. Anyways, I hope you like this. I hope this is useful in some way. If you want to support this channel, make sure to share it. Make sure to smash that subscription button and the bell button so you know exactly when the videos come out. And on that note, I'll see you next time.